David was a young shepherd boy in Israel, long, long ago. David knew how to play the harp, and he often played for King Saul. The soothing music calmed the king's nerves and helped him to feel better. David's 3 eldest brothers had left home to fight in a battle against the Philistines. As the youngest child, David stayed home and cared for the sheep. One day, David's father asked him to take some corn to his brothers and some homemade cheese to King Saul for his armies. On his way, David saw the Philistines and the Israelites ready to battle. Then he saw a gigantic man that was standing between the 2 armies. The man was about 9 feet tall and was covered in combat armor from head to toe. Only his face was visible, and his huge hands that held a giant-sized spear. "I am Goliath of Gath," he roared. "Which of you Israelites dares to come down and fight me? If one of your men is able to slay me, your people will go free. But if I win, you will all be our slaves." Then he laughed a terrible laugh. The Israelites shivered in fear. David went to King Saul and said, "Let me fight Goliath. I can beat him." "But you are only a boy," said King Saul. "Goliath is a grown man and a trained warrior. You cannot fight him." "I am just a shepherd boy," said David, "but I was able to save my sheep from a lion and a bear. I killed them both. God helped me, and God will be with me as I face this Philistine." Inspired by David's courage and faith, King Saul said, "Go, and the Lord will be with you." King Saul dressed David in his own armor, a helmet of brass, a chain-link mesh coat, and the king's own sword at his waist. It was the best armor of the whole army, for it belonged to the king. But David felt uncomfortable. The armor was heavy and restrictive. David had never before fought in armor, and he felt awkward. "I can't fight in this," David said decidedly. He took all the armor off, picked up his leather shepherd bag and sling, and went to a nearby brook. There he gathered 5 smooth stones and placed them in his bag. Then he walked out to meet Goliath. When Goliath saw the boy with rosy cheeks walking toward him, no armor, and nothing but a sling, he laughed. "Come on then," he mocked, "and I will give your flesh to the birds of the skies and to wild beasts." He began to show off by swinging his huge sword. David stood firm and said loudly, "You come with your big sword and spear, with shield and armor, but I come in the name of the Lord, the God of the armies of Israel. Today the Lord will deliver you into my hands. I will kill you and chop off your head. Then my army will beat your army, and the whole world will know there is a God in Israel. This is the Lord's battle, and he is with me and our army." Goliath was angry and began running toward David, ready to strike him down. David, unafraid, ran toward the giant. He reached into his bag, took one of his smooth stones, placed it carefully in his sling, and swung it over his head. Then, with skillful precision, he flung the stone at Goliath. The armies on both sides watched as Goliath fell back for a split second, but then fell forward on his face in a heap. The rock had sunk deep into Goliath's forehead, killing him instantly. David then climbed on top of Goliath's body, took his sword, and cut off his head. The Philistines ran away in fear. David, in the strength of the Lord, had saved his people from slavery.
Find out why over 1 million parents have used goodandbeautifulbooklist.com to find clean, appropriate books. Check out the free book list now and dive into the world of good and beautiful literature.